make a Monday night appearance. We're usually on Tuesdays, but with The Rock returning tonight, and then we have all eyes set on the 20th anniversary of Raw next week. Next 2 weeks, we're going to be making special Monday night appearances. So we got this one and one more to go. We got the chat room loaded up right now at blogtalkradio.com. Feel free to jump on in there when you get a chance. You can also take the time out to interact with us on Twitter right now. We've been reading a couple of you all's feeds from what you all thought of Raw tonight, CM Punk, the People's Champion himself. We're going to get all into that. And, yes, to you all that had sent me direct messages asking me if we're going to talk about what happened with Robert Griffin III from last night's game, yes, we're going to get all into that, okay? And we're going to open up the phone lines, get you all's reactions to what you had thought about tonight's show. I want you guys to be prepared for when you do call into the show. I want you to keep it as brief as possible. Make your question or your comment. We can move it along about tonight's show. Number to call, as always, 646-478-3525. Once again, that's 646-478-3525. I'm not flying solo tonight. Very honored to have with us our first guest for 2013. You all may remember him from such shows as Pro Wrestling Report, Monday Night Meltdown. He was one of the correspondents for that show. He was also co-host for Sudden Impact Radio by the Pro Wrestling Report, where he did his thing with Meathead. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the one and only Diamond K of the Diamond K Show. Diamond, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Very good, very good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Just watching those last few minutes we were of Rock, CM Punk, and first shot fired there by the People's Champion. We're going to dive right into that, but I want to just put the final verdict on this whole Washington Redskins thing. I know you've been keeping track of it. For those of you
Absolutely.
that may have not heard what had went down, just in case you might have not been paying attention to Football Sunday, basically in a nutshell, folks, Redskins, they had lost to the Seattle Seahawks 24-14. First two drives of the Redskins, it was looking like lightning in a bottle. It looked like it was about to be one of those type of games that was probably going to be like 40-something to 0. That's just the vibe that it kind of came off as. But then we see this critical play happen where Robert Griffin III, he fell wrong on his same injured right leg, and after that it was just never quite the same. He just kept manning up, just going out there, playing the game, putting that pride out there, trying to help his team win. Questions that a lot of Redskins fans were having, and it really didn't even come down to just Redskins fans. It just came down to football fans in general saying, why wasn't this young man pulled out? It's obvious he is amongst the top elite. He is up there with an Eli. He's up there with a Peyton. He's up there with a Drew Brees. He's up there like that in that caliber. Why are they risking this man being put out there like that in harm's way? Why isn't Cousins starting? And, folks, what we feared could at least 75% be true right now. It looks like Robert Griffin could have surgery on that knee. It said that the surgery he'd be getting, he could be having reconstructive surgery. Now, the MRI is not going to be coming out until tomorrow, but the initial report that we're getting right now indicates that he has a partial tear on his ACL and his LCD, two different areas. And this is the thing where it gets a little tricky, Diamond. It's not known right now how long those injuries have been there. But, again, we're going to see the full report of that MRI tomorrow. Now, here's what Coach Mike Shanahan had to say about the whole situation. This is a direct quote right here. Robert's our franchise quarterback. I'm not going to take the chance in his career to win a game. Newsflash, duh, that's what you did on Sunday, brother. But I also know that when you got belief in a guy and you feel that he can play at a certain level and the doctors tell you he's okay to go in, then you've got to do what's right. If I didn't think it was right, he wouldn't have played. And it should be noted that Seattle, they had lost one of their best pass rushers in Chris Clemens. He had racked up 11 and a half sacks this year. He also had got a torn ACL, and it's gotten to a point right now where the Seahawk owners, they're actually filing a complaint with the NFL citing disastrous conditions with the turf. So more on that as it becomes available. We were paying attention to the Twitter feeds last night all the way up into when we were getting ready to do tonight's show, while also looking at what everybody was saying about Raw. And vast majority of people, they want Mike Shanahan's head on a platter. He needs to be out. Diamond, what's been your take on this from what you've been able to gather? What's your personal thoughts on this?
Well, unfortunately, the injury happened at the hands of the Ravens. My Baltimore Ravens. But with that being said, I'm definitely a fan of RG3. I think that he should have been taken out of the game, in the Ravens game, a lot sooner than he was. It was a very bad injury. And like you said, the pride kind of had him continuing to go when he should have stopped in several games. And definitely yesterday's game was just I don't know. I mean, I don't think, the reconstructive surgery, of course, us being wrestling fans, we've seen a lot of wrestlers have similar, types of knee injuries, and they never come back the same.
Right.
Be it Austin, Triple H. I mean, just a bunch of people that have had these type of injuries. He's not going to be the same quarterback as he was before, and I think that the biggest lesson here is just that, you have to play it safe. I think that the injury, had he slid as opposed to doing the run that he did, probably the injury wouldn't have happened, at least not at that time. I think that he's just so reckless with his style that, it was, like you said, the pride mainly. But with that being said, he definitely should have been taken out of the game. But if on the coach's side, if your star player is telling you, I can go, don't take me out. I mean, we've seen Big Ben do this numerous times when he should have been taken out. If your star is saying, don't take me out, what do you do?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's tough. And if he'd taken him out and say that the quarterback, of course, Cousins is better than this, but say he had performed the way that the Vikings second string performed, and it was just, terrible. I don't know. I think that the city would be upset about that as well.
It's a very, very touchy subject right now, and of course we're still fresh off of that report that had came from Robert Klemenko of USA Today Sports, who cited that Dr. James Andrew, the same knee specialist responsible for Adrian Peterson's return to health last year, is disputing Shanahan's insistence that he had Andrew's blessing to put Griffin in the game after Griffin was injured against the Baltimore Ravens back on December 9th. And said, quote, he's on the sidelines with Dr. Andrews. He had a chance to look at him, and he said he could go back in. Shanahan said the day after the Ravens game. I said, hey, Dr. Andrews, can Robert go back in? Yeah, he can go back in. Robert, go back in. That's it, Shanahan said. But according to Andrews, that's not how he saw it. He said Griffith didn't even let us look at him. He came off the field, walked through the sidelines, circled back through the players, and took off to the field. It wasn't our opinion. We didn't even get to touch him or talk to him. Scared the hell out of me. So you're hearing that, and you just think about the long history that Dr. Andrews has of working on just a list of professional athletes, including a good number of folks in wrestling, most recently CM Punk. And, you want to talk about credibility here. I don't think Dr. Andrews, because it was said, well, maybe Dr. Andrews is lying. I don't see Dr. Andrews. He has no reason to lie. I don't know who would even want to put that out there, but let's just diffuse that right now. This is strictly something that is going on between Mike Shanahan and upper management. Somebody was doing something a little shady right there, but whatever the case may be, this is a young man. I mean, he's got years ahead of him. Other than, what was that young man that ended up playing for the Wizards, but now they haven't really been the same? I can't think of his name right now. They got him and they got rid of Gilbert Arenas. I can't think of his name right now. But I mean, Griffin, he's blown up more than this guy. I mean, he's already in his first year got the major commercials. He's got the Subway, the shoe commercials. I mean, he's got a long, long, long career ahead of him. And, honestly, I just think it's kind of careless, and I think it's reckless and a little stupid that, the coach had put him in that type of a situation, because if he is going to need reconstructive surgery, this is really going to come back to bite Shanahan and them in a big way.
Yeah, but they're going to try to spin it. When has the Washington Redskins been in this position before? How long has it been? So they're probably going to look at it like that. Beginning of the season, the Redskins were in a total different situation, and the playoffs I don't even think was in the conversation. So the way that this team has turned around on the back of RG3 is probably going to count for something.
Yeah, hopefully it does. But I must admit, they did have a pretty impressive season. I mean, to go from 3-6, then 10-6, that was impressive. We feel bad for you guys because, we both Maryland boys over here. Hey, we tripping over the Ravens right now. So, we got Ray Lewis at least for one more game, it looks like, maybe the Super Bowl. But, this is it. Okay, we're going to go to Denver. It was a nice season. It's over. I'm kind of getting that vibe, too. The way Peyton been playing, let me tell you something. Peyton, it wasn't the surgery that did him. It's those Papa John pizzas he's been inhaling. That's what's been taking him over. He's like, better ingredients, better pizza, something in that pizza. That's what's been making him play so damn good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what? We teased you guys long enough. Diamond, let's talk about tonight's WWE Raw. First WWE Raw of the new year. And it just came off to me as one of those type of episodes. I was thinking about how many matches, and I was keeping track of it as well, that they were pumping out there to us. They gave us 9 matches total. And, I don't know about you, but I definitely want to pick your brain on this. Just the way that they had utilized The Rock tonight. It wasn't quite what I was expecting, because I'm saying to myself, okay, you have a 3-hour episode of Raw here, first live Raw of the new year. You got to do a little bit more with this one. You got The Rock, somebody that you don't get on a weekly basis. Make the best of it. Maybe you can have him make little special cameo appearances here and there. Space it out throughout those 3 hours to try to keep that viewership in there. But it looked like the way that they were executing it tonight, you had to stick around for those final 15, 25, heck, it felt like a half hour just to see The Rock finally. And leading up to that, we had John Cena have a little bit of words with Dolph Ziggler, AJ Lee, Big E Langston, recalling what he did to them last week on the New Year's, I said that right, New Year's Eve episode of Raw where he dumped Cal, whatever. Looked like Back to the Future moment right there. Telling them how he's going to be going to the Royal Rumble. But Dolph Ziggler, he counters right back and says to Cena, well, you know what? You're always coming up with the jokes. You need to stop. You need to get serious. I'm going to shut you up once and for all. I'm going to put myself into the Royal Rumble. Here we are again, Diamond. We see this nasty little trend that started last Monday night on Raw with John Cena talking about how he's going to put himself into the Royal Rumble. Then we go to SmackDown. Sheamus, Orton, they're putting themselves into the Royal Rumble. Now we got Dolph Ziggler putting himself into the Royal Rumble. What happened to the lottery system, man? What happened to the general manager saying, okay, you guys are going to have a match. Whoever wins, you get a random number that's displayed on the Titantron. That's your number for when you come out to the Royal Rumble. I don't know about you, man, but I kind of miss that system.
Well, I mean, they still could do that because, you know, no one knows numbers of the entrants yet. So, you know, you still could have these matches for, you know, the number 30 spot or, you know, the number 1 spot or you know, whatever it is. And I definitely take another approach to the way they utilize The Rock. I think that they utilize The Rock in this way because we're going to be seeing a lot more of him this year than we have in the previous 2 years. So we're going to need to space this out. We don't want to go into Rock overload on the first night because The Rock is going to be at the Elimination Chamber as well as the Royal Rumble and subsequent appearances on Raw and I believe maybe even SmackDown at some point in time. So you definitely want to space it out a little bit. So you don't want to get too tired of him.
Yeah, I agree with that when you bring up that point. And for those of you that are a little bit curious about The Rock's schedule for the next coming weeks, just hang tight. We actually have his schedule for what looks like to be confirmed by the WWE. But that was the setup right there. This exchange between John Cena, AJ Lee, Big E Langston, we actually saw a first. We saw Big E Langston take a microphone and talk. I was wondering, did he sound as he looks? Because he looks tough, and he actually sounded pretty damn tough. Because, you know, I've seen his matches in NXT, but I've yet to hear him talk on the mic. So I just kept my fingers crossed. I don't know about you, bro, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'm like, please don't sound like Bobby Lashley. Please don't sound like Lashley. You know, and he opens his mouth, he's like, hey. I'm like, oh, snap, yeah, okay, I see big things happening for this guy. All right. Looked as if maybe it was going to be Big E Langston taking on John Cena. But no, that wasn't even the case. It was actually Big E Langston telling Dolph Ziggler, you got this, man. Come on, take him on one-on-one. That was one hell of a way to kick off Raw. That was probably, when I just think about the 9 matches that we got total tonight, that was hands down one of the best matches of the night. It, like, almost had me have shades of when John Cena used to take on Shawn Michaels on Raw there. I mean, that's just how damn good it was.
Very, very good match. I agree with you totally. A lot of people have been hard on Cena, but if you really sit back and look at Cena's overall career thus far, he's really underrated. I think that when he's in the ring, he steps up to his competition. And you know, this definitely was a good match, a pay-per-view worthy match in my book.
Key words you said right there. Couldn't have said it better. Pay-per-view quality type of match. And you're right, John Cena, he really doesn't get enough credit in the world. And, I mean, he has just really been working great matches with Dolph Ziggler in recent weeks. They've had a very interesting storyline. And I can't wait to see this bookend. I'm assuming the bookend is possibly going to come at the Royal Rumble or maybe, what's that? We got the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Maybe it's going to conclude right there so that maybe John Cena can focus on The Rock. We'll talk a little bit more about that, kind of tease you guys a little bit because we're going to be previewing the Royal Rumble, kind of offer suggestions on what could possibly happen. Also on tonight's episode, we actually saw a pretty decent Divas match between Caitlyn as she took on Eve. Once again, Eve finding an excuse to just roll out of the match. She had enough of Caitlyn, took her title, went over the barricade, blended into the fans in attendance. She didn't want to have anything else to do with her. perfect setup right here for these two girls to get it on in a type of match where if Eve tries to do that little stunt again, the title could perhaps drop to Caitlyn. Caitlyn, of course, she has been in this program now with Eve since September of last year. Of course, we had that little bit of a hiccup where she had got arrested at the SmackDown tapings. Diamond, your thoughts on seeing WWE continue her push and program with Eve that could culminate in her becoming the WWE Divas Champion?
Hopefully it does not happen. Hopefully, she doesn't get the title. She's a good contender. I just don't feel as though she is championship material. But they're doing Classic 101 booking of this, and the next match should be at the Royal Rumble, and some type of stipulation that'll prevent her getting counted out.
I'm with you. I don't really think she's the way to go. I think they're trying to go with her because she just kind of, if you do an early comparison shot of Trish Stratus to Caitlyn, she kind of looks like she could be Trish Stratus' sister. I think that's probably why they're trying to go with her, because she's got those beauties, but there's just something about her, and she tries so hard. I watched that cute little thing. She tries very hard to get the crowd get in her favor, but she just can't seem to get it going. It seems like of all the Divas matches, when it comes to Caitlyn, the crowd could care less, and that really says a lot because Eve, she's come a long way, and she's one hell of a performer.
Yeah, she's come a long way, and she has a lot of range with her character. She's done a lot of different things over the last year and a half or so. I'd like to see her hold on to the title a little while longer. I'm still holding out, hoping and praying that they bring Karma back. That's what I'm hoping at.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah, that would be nice. That or if they can work out some type of deal with Lita or Trish Stratus. I know
nice.
I know they were kind of talking about reaching back out to them, seeing if they can get those two divas to come on back. That would really be a welcome invitation. Talk about a good way to shake up the Divas division again, really make it become relevant. But I'll give WWE this much props. They have really been taking their time trying to make fans invest in a Divas match. 4-month program right here with these two girls. I can't recall the last time that they did something like this. I think I might have to go back a couple of years. I could be wrong, but it feels like it's been that many years. We also saw Team Hell Knows, Kane and Daniel Bryan in action as they had suffered a loss to the team of Rhodes Scholars, Damian Sandow, Cody Rhodes. Looks like they just shot their way up to become potential number one contenders to take on the tag champions for those belts. Could it come as early as the Royal Rumble? Who knows? That is a to be determined match right there. Randy Orton was in action as he had defeated Heath Slater. Had a little bit of a Stone Cold Steve Austin moment right there, Diamond, as he had just delivered an RKO to all the members, including my personal favorite, Jinder Mahal. And little hint for you guys, you can play around with Jinder Mahal all day if you know how to rhyme it right. That's all I got to say about that. You read between the lines. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Wade Barrett was in action. He took on Santino Marella. This one kind of raised my eyebrow a little bit, Diamond. I don't know about you, but to see Ricky the Dragon Steamboat out there trying to root Santino on, Wade Barrett just squashing Santino with that bull hammer in less than 3 minutes, and then post-match to see Ricky the Dragon Steamboat come in there, check on his buddy, wondering if he's all right. Barrett thinking about attacking the WWE Hall of Famer, but Ricky looks up at the last minute and he sees that he's about to get attacked, and he's like, "No, it's not happening." But bring it. If you're gonna do something, bring it. Barrett backing down. You think that could possibly be a taste of a match to come as early as the Raw 20th anniversary next year? Because we know that WWE, they've reached out to former WWE legends of the past. I know one of them who revealed it on his Facebook page last night, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He's officially going to be on there. He kind of let the cat out the bag there. You think this could be a setup right here between Barrett and Steamboat?
I hope not. The time has come, and I'm a big Steamboat fan. Mm-hmm. The time has definitely come where people from that golden age need to stay out of the ring in competition. Aside from the King, Steamboat has had cardiac issues in the ring or immediately following matches. I was praying that nothing physical happened between Barrett and Steamboat for Steamboat's sake, literally. And I'm glad that they played the cards the way that they did. Some of the guys, Hacksaw, I suppose, some of those guys can still, do, comical, type matches. But Steamboat, not one of those type of wrestlers. And I just really would rather to see him outside of the ring the way he was. And maybe they can pair him up with his son in some kind of way, in some kind of managing role. But in the ring, Steamboat, I don't want to see that anymore.
Amen to that. I'm with you all the way on that, brother. Next match we saw was, what's that? Antonio Cesaro. So good, they had to do it twice, taking on Great Khali. I knew the minute that we had got this match on Main Event, I'm saying to myself, management and booking, they must want to know if he could do the neutralizer to Great Khali. Sure enough, he does it. So nice. They did it again this week. It was pretty much about the neutralizer. In case you guys didn't watch Main Event, they had to make sure that him picking up Great Khali went mainstream so everybody can walk home saying, oh, my God, did you see that? No disrespect to Great Khali, but I know his popularity. I know people are very quick to tell me about his popularity in India, but I don't mean to be rude or crude, but, this ain't India. This is America, and, quite honestly, I could care less about seeing Great Khali in the ring. That's a waste of space right there for me. Personally, let him do all the live house shows and do the overseas stuff, but when it comes to being on TV against a guy like Cesaro, anytime you got to pair him up against Great Khali, the message that they're kind of sending to me is, okay, they're starting to run out of ideas with him, and I just don't understand why we got The Miz that's kind of like in the shadows here looking on at Antonio Cesaro when it's pretty obvious that's the route that they want to take. My whole thing is, why not just go that direct route? Why we got to deal with all this bull crap?
Well, I mean, I definitely agree. Great Khali has not been worth the money that they probably pay him in several years. But, from Vince and company standpoint, he is a freak of nature, if you will, and they definitely have to have several freaks of nature on the payroll, at any given time. I didn't see the match on Main Event. I was impressed with with him being able to get Khali up in the move, and I think that the big thing here is just they're trying to play up his strength, and just get him over, which I think he is over. I think that the what they really need to focus on is getting the Miz over as a face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they've been doing a pretty good job of that so far. They got the right storyline between he and Cesaro. Let's just get all that other stuff, the Khali and all that. Just get all that out the way. Let's just see these two guys work a good program already because they can deliver. What else we saw tonight on Raw? We saw Sheamus defeat Jinder Mahal. He ran into them in a backstage segment after they had suffered their, Heath Slater, after he had suffered a defeat against Randy Orton earlier in the night.
What do you think of 3MB, really?
It's funny you mention that because I think that they are a bootleg version of the I keep forgetting their name. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's that TNA stable, Rockin' Injection or something like that with Christy Hemme. They remind me of a bootleg version of that, but only that TNA stable was better. I think that Jinder Mahal, Drew McIntyre, they are just really riding the coattails off Heath Slater, who honestly I think it actually hurt him and his push when he was doing all those great singles matches with the WWE legends, and then it just looked like he was starting to become really relevant again. Because if I'm not mistaken, he's the same guy that used to be, part of the Jesse and Festus stable there. So to kind of see him come as far as he has with the whole one-man band gimmick, I just kind of felt like Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal, they're just sitting on the sideline like, well, we need something to do. And it's like creative said, well, we don't really have anything for you. Why don't we just pair you up with Heath Slater and let's see what can happen with that. And it's quite unfortunate because it has a little bit of potential. It's got a little combination of that stable. And then let's not forget that other stable. I can't remember it right now. Kurt Hennig, Rap is Crap, WCW.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the West Texas Outlaws.
Something like
Texas,
that, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
It's
the
got
one
a little...
with the No Limit Soldier.
Yeah, it's got a little combination of that rock and rave. Yes, that's the name of that TNA stable I'm thinking of. Thank you, Dave. Rock and rave. I'm tired of them. They just need to break them up already. You know, I've seen Drew McIntyre repackaged so many times. It's ridiculous. Jinder Mahal, I don't know what's going on with him. 1 minute, he's coming off like Muhammad Hassan Davari. The next minute, you know, it's like, what's going on? You're confusing me.
Well, in a weird way, I didn't like it at first. It's growing on me. It seems like they're making them a little bit more serious. But I think that this is really a vehicle to turn Heath Slater face and having the other members eventually turning on him.
Nice. I could see that. If they,
Heath Slater has a lot of potential. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, between the three, yeah, Heath Slater, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
If I had to go with a second guy, honestly, I'd have more faith in Jinder Mahal than Drew McIntyre. I just feel Drew McIntyre. Yeah, you know, I just feel he's had so many chances. It's like, you know, and if you had to make me choose between Jack Swagger and Drew McIntyre, I'd go with Jack Swagger.
Definitely.
You know, what else? We had got that main event match. That was a good TLC match, by the way. CM Punk taking on Ryback for the WWE Championship. I mean, another pay-per-view quality type of match. Other than the John Cena taking on Dolph Ziggler, folks, that was the second best match of the whole 3-hour event. And they actually put a lot of time into that match. That felt like it was a 25, maybe a 30-minute match. I know it had came on at 10 or just a couple of minutes after 10. What was your takeaway from that match?
So they definitely gave us the match that they had promised in the previous pay-per-view right there. It's a very good match. I really think that WWE deserves a lot of credit for doing something that we had been hoping that they would do for years, and that is create a lot of new stars. And this year, I think that they have elevated more people than I remember them doing in many years. In the 2012, Ryback is over as a main eventer, and it really kind of crept up. Even though they've been building him up for most of the year, the way that he was elevated and injected into the main event was probably sooner than what they initially had in their plans, I'm sure. But I definitely understand that they were trying to build him up. And I think he's there. Punk carried him to a good match. A lot of spots looked like they were pretty stiff. But all in all, it was a good It was a good
yes.
match. The Shield. When the lights went out, did you know that it was going to be the Shield?
I didn't know it was going to be the Shield. As soon as the lights went off and there was just like that 5-second pause of darkness, I'm thinking to myself, break the walls down. I'm like, okay, well, what the hell is Jericho? Because there was this weird rumor going around that Jericho created himself on Twitter saying so excited to see Raw from Tampa, Florida, and everybody just leached onto that, assuming that maybe, just maybe, Jericho was going to be making some type of an appearance. Hilarious moment right there. But once again, the Shield getting involved in a Ryback match that is revolving around the WWE title. And, of course, we had Brad Maddox there who was trying to actually do Heyman a favor earlier in the night, letting him know that he was willing to go to his trunk of his car, get a referee shirt, and maybe work out some type of deal with Vicky Guerrero where he could call the match. But Paul Heyman said, no, I don't want no part of you. I don't want anything to do with you. Stay away from me. Stay away from the WWE champion. We're done. So no Brad Maddox, but we got the Shield. Just further fuels along that conspiracy that CM Punk is possibly cahoots with the Shield. Sooner or later there's going to come to that point where the truth is going to have to be revealed whether or not they are working for CM Punk. And I think a lot of fans are going to be shocked to learn when they see that the Shield is going to turn on CM Punk. I think it's going to happen.
I agree. I think that the way that this story is playing out, if I was writing the story, I definitely Punk really, his character should not know or anything about this. This should be Paul Heyman orchestrating this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And and eventually we're going to have when I'm thinking maybe when Punk loses the title, you have him eventually turning face. And begging for the fans.
And you could also have Paul Heyman turn on CM Punk once he loses that championship. Kind of do him like Mike Tyson's old promoter there. What was that? What's his name? Don
King?
Don King, yeah. Do him just like that. Move on to the next fighter.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have something built in here. I mean, we have Brock Lesnar. We want to see a CM Punk Brock Lesnar match.
Because see, here's the $1 million question. Everything that was going on, I don't know if you had peeped this out, but remember the scene where Brad Maddox had interrupted Paul Heyman as he was on the cell phone, and he was complaining about the match that CM Punk was in tonight. Here's the $1 million question for everybody. Who was Paul Heyman talking to? That could have been Brock Lesnar.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
We know it wasn't Taz.
Nah, hell no. Hey, you know what? We got to show some love to one of our listeners and Twitter followers, Donna at DPC123. She just to touch up on what you had said earlier about Ryback there looking a little stiff there. She said, these are direct quotes right here. Well, I think Ryback is useless. As a fan of 25 years, I think the WWE champ deserves someone who can sell a match. Punk is wasted. And don't even get me started on The Rock. Well, let's talk about that main event attraction. We saw CM Punk there. He had a bit of a pipe bomb moment of his own, telling the WWE Universe how when that infamous pipe bomb moment had happened a good while back, how everybody had looked at that as the pivotal point, the pivotal turn in his career that just really skyrocketed him to the very top in WWE. CM Punk basically letting it be known to the WWE Universe that pipe bomb moment was nothing more than speaking the gospel. That's all he was doing, was speaking the truth, something he feels that many people aren't able to do. And he throws it right back to all the fans, telling them how, this rebel that you had saw previously, this guy that you were sitting up talking about ice cream bars and all that, basically that was a facade. That was something that he had created specifically for the WWE Universe because, to sum it up, he sold out. He couldn't do it the way he had been doing it all his years prior to the WWE. He saw how difficult it was, so he decided that he was going to start kissing ass so he could get exactly what he wanted, which was that WWE title. And when he beat Alberto Del Rio for that title at Night of Champions, it was basically him defying the system is how he looked at it. And he had some rather short but brief words to say about the People's Champion. And, of course, we finally see, after almost waiting patiently for almost 3 hours, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson return. Diamond, I'm going to let you go at it because I was really getting ready for the show here, but from what I saw, honestly, and we were talking about it before we went on air, I just really wasn't impressed with what I had saw of The Rock tonight. Although he kind of redeemed himself at the end there, especially with the rock bottom, but I just felt CM Punk, as far as battle on the mic, CM Punk owned him tonight.
Well, like you said, we talked about it off air. CM Punk is worse than John Cena could ever be. The Rock going toe-to-toe with CM Punk on the mic is not going to come up well if CM Punk doesn't want it to. Any head-to-head exchanges that they had tonight, I think CM Punk got the better of it. And one thing that I do like a lot better about CM Punk's shoot promos, if you will, especially when he's going head-to-head with someone, is that he doesn't do it. Cena does it in a way that's, I don't know, it's just very counterproductive, and it really just rips the mat from underneath the person. But CM Punk rather does it in a way that it just seems truthful. It doesn't seem
it has weight
like any
to it.
more than that. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's any more than that. I mean, the way that Cena dressed down Dolph Ziggler in last week's episode.
Good example. Totally dismissed him.
It's totally different. And it's different than CM Punk does. But I'm really excited about the way this goes. I definitely look at this one as a victory for CM Punk from the promo standpoint. But overall, the mainstream fans are, of course, going to like The Rock, and the women like The Rock. My girlfriend likes The Rock, and and it's just. And I think that they don't pay attention to the things that we pay attention to. But I think CM Punk really got over as a heel. Tell me something. Do you think that if this was in Chicago and everything else was the same, could CM Punk have got the fans to react the way that he did in Tampa? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. No, Chicago, I don't know what it is, but they love CM Punk. They love him. No. They would have booed The Rock out of that arena, honestly, if it was in Chicago.
I think in New York as well.
Yeah. There's just no way that
tonight.
Yeah.
But how are they going to be able to do this at WrestleMania? Well, of course they're not going to be working together. But I mean, the thing I think about the northern crowds, especially Chicago and New York, they tend to cheer the heels and boo the faces.
Very interesting Raw tonight. Overall, what did you think of it? Scale of 1 to 10. You think it did pretty good tonight?
Yeah, a scale of 1 to 10. I enjoyed the show. A scale of 1 to 10. I would probably give it a 7.5. I was pleased, leaning more towards an 8. Those two matches that they really had on either end of the show really did it. I felt as though they built up the main event throughout the night. They kept talking about it. They kept talking about The Rock, obviously. And the other thing, just the evolution of Dolph Ziggler is really a good thing to see, and I think further down the line, he's really going to make a really good face as well.
Yeah, he is. You want to take a couple of quick calls real quick?
Sure.
All right. The number to call, guys, to talk with our special guest, Diamond K, is 646-478-3525. Kick on back, Smiling Dow, 646-478-3525. I'm just going to start in any random order. Let's go with caller from the 804 area code. You're live, my friend.
Hey, this is me, Mackenzie.
Hey, Mackenzie. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
All right. So what's your question or comment about Raw tonight?
I have one question. How come Dolph Ziggler is going to put himself in the Royal Rumble when he is the Money in the Bank winner?
I was wondering if anybody else had saw that. Diamond, what do you think about that?
I mean, it is kind of weird that he's putting himself in there, but I guess he's trying to say he's the show off, and he wants to show off what he can do, but he clearly is not going to win the Royal Rumble.
He may not win the Royal Rumble, but do you think that could finally be the night that he cashes in the Money in the Bank briefcase?
Potentially, I'm thinking that that may happen. That may happen.
Because I mean that year is
because he's held on to it longer than anyone, I think.
Yeah, I mean that year is coming. He's creeping up on that year. I don't know when the next Money in the Bank pay-per-view is. I want to say it's the month after WrestleMania.
I thought it was. Yeah, you might be right. Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, it's like, what the heck? Let's go now to caller from the 269 area code. Actually, that's Dave. Dave, you live, my friend.
Hey, I think it was actually back in July when Money in the Bank was, June or July.
Yeah, I was thinking
Extreme
June
Rules
that
was the next one.
Right, that was the one that Brock was at.
Yeah. And I think they did like Over the Limit and then No Way Out.
Oh, no, that's going to have to be some research later. So what's your question or comment about Raw tonight, Dave?
First off, I mean, Raw was awesome. Like, one of the better ones we've probably seen all year. But, yeah. I know it's the first one of the year. But my thing is with you guys, what do you think about, say Dolph Ziggler cashed in Money in the Bank at Royal Rumble, and say what we don't want to see, Cena wins, and say The Rock's the champ. Who does he choose? I think he would go Dolph. What do you guys think?
Diamond, go ahead, bro.
You said if Cena wins the Rumble?
Repeat it again, Dave.
Yes. So Cena wins the Rumble, and then The Rock wins the title as well. Yeah. I think he would choose Dolph.
You think he chooses Dolph?
Yes,
no, I think he definitely chooses The Rock. He needs that victory back. I mean, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I think that when you put that in perspective, I'm not 100% sure that The Rock wins at Royal Rumble. I think Rock loses at Royal Rumble and wins it at Elimination Chamber.
I see you finally have seen the light since last we talked. I swear to you guys, earlier, a couple of weeks back, Diamond was like, nah, that's going to be The Rock. Yeah, it's going to be The Rock. I'm like, bro, it's got to be CM Punk. It's like, how can you just spit on 400-plus days as champion like that, for a guy that's only coming in, a couple of times a year? Come on now. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. But you know what? That's a very interesting development right there. Could John Cena be in a position where he'd have to pick Dolph Ziggler or The Rock? And, I mean, he has that history there with John Cena. That's what makes this so interesting right now, because they haven't given that rivalry the respective bookend so that it looks as if all John Cena is focusing on is the Royal Rumble and to possibly take on The Rock. It just really hasn't been coming off that way. It's like he's been multitasking.
Right.
I don't know. Very, very interesting. This is going to be a cliffhanger for now because we're a couple of minutes past our cutoff time. And Diamond K, we had said it a couple of weeks back when we were announcing that you were going to be coming by the show. And, we're definitely going to be doing this again. For those of you that's wondering, we just got to make sure we have enough free time put to the side so we can, do this again. But we're definitely going to be doing another collaboration like this again. Diamond, you had fun tonight? I hope you did.
Absolutely, definitely.
So, let all the folks know where they can catch your show, your Facebook, all that information before you roll.
Also, very, very easy. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at the Diamond K Show. Can definitely follow me on there. I talk sports, definitely wrestling, and a lot of other things.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we're trying to see if now I can pop up on your show, because I want to hear how your neck of the woods is over there. It's nice to, it's nice to just be the guest and just hear other people, take the lead for a bit. I just want to be in the club chilling on the sofa for a bit, just going, "What's up?"
we definitely got to make that happen.
All right, tell you what, man. Well, I know we're going to continue to stay in contact, and we definitely got to continue this conversation because we didn't even scratch the surface. We still got to talk about what could possibly happen at the Royal Rumble. So we definitely going to have to work on part 2 of this, and that's going to do it, man. I really appreciate you taking out the time.
It's a big week.
It's a big week, man. It's a big month at that. I mean, January is kicking off good for the WWE right now. I really thank you for taking the time out to be our first guest for the new year. It really means a lot, man. And you know what, brother? You're welcome to come by on the show anytime, even if it's just to say hello or you want to plug something. By the way, this guy, before I let him go, this guy is a renaissance man. He does it all. Video work. He's an author. Tell him about the book you got out and the synopsis of it real quick, because I think it sends a very positive message.
Definitely. The book is called "You Are Not the Father," and that's on Amazon, also Barnes & Noble now. It's a true story, and it's about experience that I had. So it is what it says it is. So it's You Are Not the Father. So we're just talking about someone raising a child that they found out was not theirs.
Y'all got to check that out. I mean, the man does it all. I mean, really does it all. I like that. All right, Diamond K, thank you so much for being on the show, man. You have yourself a good night, and we'll definitely stay in contact. I'll probably hit you up with an email right after the show is over.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, bro. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
All right, I know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Diamond K from the Diamond K Show. Check out my good friend. In case you might happen to miss all those show links, don't worry. We're going to post them up in our episode description episode so you know where all you can check it out. We put some links up already, but we'll set it up for you, make sure that you're able to go check it all out. And I got a very, very cool kick-ass commercial I want you guys to listen to because we got some big things in store for 2013. So I want you to listen to these few words, and then when we come right back, folks, this month, big month for us, that's our first guest of 2013. We haven't even told you who's going to be dropping by later this week. Check out the commercial. We come right back. We'll give you all the details. You're listening to the RCWR Show on January 8th, 2012. Oh, wow. I said 2012. 2013. Don't worry. It's going to take me a while to get used to this. And we'll be coming right back, folks. Do hang tight.
Live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C., this is the RCWR Show with your host, Lee Sanders.
All right, and we're back. As you heard, big things coming, and it's going to be going down in just a handful of weeks. As we said in that commercial, a lot of big changes happening, new co-hosts coming, new special guests are going to be coming on here, more guests, more people that's going to be kicking back, talking about the topics that got you all talking. And as I said before we took the commercial break, we are on a roll when it comes to guests. Something that has never happened before in RCWR Show, Impact Showdown radio history. We're going to have a guest drop by the Saturday show. Now, originally, we were not going to do a Saturday show, but I had been in contact with this person, and they said, hey, let's do it. Let's do it Saturday. I said, oh, okay, I'm on it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have the one, the only, it's not my fault, Gene Snitsky, former WWE wrestler. Come on by the show. We're going to be kicking back. We're going to be talking all things wrestling. It's going to be me and him, exclusive one-on-one interview. It's going to totally kick ass. Make sure you check that out. That's going to be this Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Should be noted out that WWE, supposedly, they've been trying to negotiate some type of a deal with Snitsky to possibly come on back to the WWE. I'm going to put him in the hot seat, and I'm going to ask him whether or not those rumors that we're hearing has any type of weight to it. So you want to make sure that you check that out. And, of course, we're going to be doing the YouTube exclusive as we got the TNA Genesis pay-per-view that's going to be coming up on Sunday. I'll be offering match predictions for that respective pay-per-view on a YouTube exclusive. It's not going to be at Blog Talk Radio this weekend. You're only going to be able to catch it on YouTube at the RCWR Show channel. So make sure that you check that out. And, hey, if you are a fan of female wrestling, I got something for you guys. We're going to be doing a special post-show covering the results from Shine 6. That's going to be going down this Friday night. So we'll be coming on with a special episode of the RCWR post-show. We're going to try to see if we can have it come on at 11:45, 11:55 p.m. because the event kicks off at 9. So there you go right there. Friday, Shine 6 post-show. Saturday, Gene Snitsky. Also, YouTube exclusive, Call That Matter special, TNA Genesis. And then, of course, Sunday, put the nightcap on it all. RCWR post-show covering the fallout from the Genesis pay-per-view. A lot of information to take in, right? Don't worry, we'll be reminding you during the rest of the week, so have no fear. Other than that, that is it. We're off to a really great start. And, yes, we have a new co-host that's going to be coming. I haven't quite ironed out the details on what days he's going to be popping up on the show. Currently still in the process of trying to fill him out and a couple of other people. Getting ready to bring it down to the final 3 candidates. So hopefully I will have my mind made up in a couple of weeks, and then we'll just go right for it. I think you're going to like whoever ends up being the co-host. I think you're really going to like them. They totally kick ass from the few people that I am talking to. And it's one of those type of co-hosts, I can honestly tell you, if something comes down where I have some type of an emergency or I just don't feel like doing the show, I know I can not tune in and know that they're going to be handling the 4 down without any problems. So if I have that much faith in them, I hope you have that much faith in checking them out when they're going to be leading the show solo from time to time. For the few episodes I might not be able to make it. All right. Other than that, guys, that is it. You know, everything was about WWE Raw tonight, The Rock returning, and really hope that you had enjoyed our special guest, Diamond K, coming on by. And trust me, we're definitely going to be doing it again. We were talking about doing this collaboration for quite some time, and I will be popping up on his show probably in a couple of weeks. But it's the beginning of a healthy relationship between the two of us. So look more forward to hearing more of our cross collaborations down the road in the near future. All right, we got Impact Showdown Radio. That's going to be coming up this Thursday night. It's the first Impact Wrestling of 2013. Or actually, no, it's the second live episode of Impact Wrestling of 2013. Kind of feels like it's the first, though, doesn't it? I mean, we had Raw then. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why I kind of got it a little mixed up there. But we're going to cover the fallout from that. We'll also go over the full card, hopefully, for the Genesis pay-per-view, as still not that many matches have been announced. One last programming note. Next Monday, while you guys are hearing me, mark it down on your calendars. We're going to be making one more Monday night appearance to cover the fallout from the Raw 20th anniversary episode. It's going to be the last time we do a Monday night appearance for quite some time, so make sure that you check that out. Not every day we make a Monday night appearance, and the phone lines will be open on that respected episode as well. Hey, the talk of wrestling may end right here because we're going off the air for a little bit, but it continues over at our website at InfinityOneProductions.com. Check that out. We cover a little bit more than wrestling, so much more. Also, hit us up on our Facebook page. Give it a like, follow it, Infinity One Productions. And, hey, subscribe to us in the iTunes, Zune marketplaces. Just use keywords, the RCWR Show. One more time, special thanks to our first guest for 2013, the Diamond K. Great guy, Maryland native, just like me. We got to stick together, man. Go Ravens. All right, we're on a break. Hey, you guys have a safe Monday night going into Tuesday night. We will see you all later this week for Impact Showdown Radio. Be safe. Be kind to one another, folks. See you next time.